disseminate, disillusion, dissolution.
Today, Thursday, December 17th, 2015. The Force Awakens from both ends. Or The Problem with Everything. Hey, everybody. I'm Holiday Rob.
I am Loki Sapfoot.
And today we're going to fill your poor ear holes with horrendous stories of diarrhea, of vomitousness, but also new Star Wars is coming out.
Yeah, if you can make it through that first half where Rob's talking about like shooting liquid out of his butthole, you just get through that. You can hear us talk about Star Wars as if we know what we're talking about. Neither of us have even I haven't even ever seen episode 2, and we're like going on like we know all about Star Wars. It's great. You're gonna love it.
I've seen them all, but I haven't seen them in the longest time.
Yeah.
But also, happy Martin Shkreli goes to jail day. That piece of shit who bought the.
Yeah. So that was the AIDS drug, right?
Yeah.
The drug that has been like the best
at helping
people
toxoplasmosis.
Get through HIV, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. So for those of you who don't know, this asshole like bought it and then jacked up the price like 5,000%.
Yeah.
It was like $1 a day for this pill that whoever invented it.
And that was like $370.
Yeah. It made it
bucks,
unaffordable. Like,
basically.
Yeah.
And and then he went and bought a $2 million Wu-Tang album.
Oh, yeah. Was that him?
Yeah.
What a fucking idiot.
Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with.
You know what I read was that I didn't realize that was the same guy. I thought it was just some rich guy that bought the album.
No, it's the same douche.
That's funny, but I heard that in the contract of that purchase, there's a clause that says any member of the Wu-Tang Clan can steal it back with no repercussions, legal repercussions. But the weird thing about it is it says any member of the Wu-Tang Clan or Bill Murray can steal it back. What the fuck?
That's an amazing contract.
I don't know if that's true.
That's what I've been hearing all day is that people have been talking about that. Bill Murray, now's your chance, go steal it.
It's so weird.
I was laughing because I was like, they have pictures of him being like hauled out and shit, and I was like, that face you make when you should have been buying plane tickets instead of $2 million albums.
Right. So what did he get busted for? Tax something?
Something to do with
some rich guy crime that I don't understand.
Hedge fund stuff. I don't know.
I keep my money in a jar under my mattress.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know.
You have money?
Not much of it. It's a pretty small jar.
You keep money somewhere? Mine's like a river. It flows in and it flows out at the same amount.
Kind of like your asshole in your mouth.
Oh my God.
The other day.
Oh, that was misery. Yeah, you'll get to hear all about that, good folks. And if you want to check us out online, you can stalk us, cyberstalk us. You can get me at Holiday Rob, all one word.
That's on Twitter, right?
On the Twitters.
Yeah.
Also on PSN Network, but my controller has gone full
retard.
Yeah, Jack simple. It's gone full simple Jack.
Simple Jack. Yeah.
So
I haven't even seen that movie, but I get that reference. Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. So it's gone that way. So unfortunately, I'm not playing any games right now. But if you're on there and I happen to get a new controller for Christmas, I will be on under the name Holiday_sale. So
Word.
Where can the good people get a hold of you?
If you're on the Twitter, hit me up at Sapfoot. You'll find some tongue twisters and some lewd jokes. And I'm pretty sure that Clay Matthews is just J.J. Watt wearing a wig. For all you football fans out there. That occurred to me the other day. I was like, wait, is that the same guy? And he just puts a wig on and then goes and plays for the Packers. Have the Texans and the Packers played each other? Does he play for both teams? Is it the same guy? Have been in the same place at the same time? I don't know. Anyway, I tweeted about that the other day.
Interdimensional.
Yeah. So you can find me on Twitter at Sapfoot, or if you're on the Xbox Live, Live World 23 is my gamer tag. Playing a lot of hockey, playing the shit out of Night Squad still. It was a free game, like they do the free game of the month, and it's fucking dope.
Yeah.
So if you got Night Squad, it's not free anymore, I think, because too much time has passed and it's not one of the free games. But if you were lucky enough to get it for free, highly recommend jumping on and playing some Night Squad with me. Live World 23 is my gamer tag. Hit me up. Enjoy this episode of Madness. We're going to play a song to to kick us off?
Yeah, let's do smallest places. Why not?
All right.
So
By Quietly Kept.
Yeah, since we talk about our adventures in LA. So made it back alive.
Back to this small place called Albuquerque.
Apparently not with our stomach contents intact, but otherwise it was
You
pretty
pulled
good.
through. You're alive.
Yeah, it was nuts. So yeah, this next track is Quietly Kept, Smallest Places. Live on TV.
No, this is a podcast.
Oh, well, happy almost Star Wars Day. Actually, it is Star Wars Day, I guess, if it's we're recording. Yeah.
Well, you'll be hearing this on Star Wars Day. We're recording on Thursday, and then tonight I'll edit it. Do a same night turnaround.
Whoa.
Shit, yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, so we tried like every day this week to do a podcast, but Rob was spraying liquid out of every orifice of his body.
Except my ears, surprisingly.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, no. Apparently, we got to experience the wonderful world of something called the norovirus.
I have never heard of this.
N-O-R-O? I don't know. I didn't look it up because I got to experience it firsthand. So fuck that.
Noro.
Fuck that virus.
Dear God, Noro.
Noro.
So describe in detail what the past 3 days have been like for you.
Well, okay, so Quietly Kept, Kayla May and I went to LA for this conference and festival. Wow. We're just coughing in the mic.
Next time do that right into the mic.
I will.
if you
make
can.
Make sure to spray right into it. So we went to this conference and festival, and she was already sick. She was already feeling sick, and but we still performed. I actually had 24 hours to find a singer, a pitch hitter singer.
Someone to step in for.
Yeah, because I was like, if you're not feeling good, like you can stay, and I'll still go play the festival because I think this is still the best opportunity ever. And this amazing lady, Cassandra Vincent, which you can check her out at CassandraVincent.com.
CassandraVincent.com.
She was a badass. She totally like stepped in. She does like acting. She's done like opera singing.
Wow.
She learned our set, which was like 5 or 6 songs in a 24-hour period, and was like ready to rock that shit on stage.
Nice.
It was impressive. I have to like give it up to LA, man. That's
badass.
That place has such a pool of talent that you can do that kind of shit, and it'll actually come together. So we got there. Kayla like soldiered it out, came along. She was just like drinking the...
So she felt bad before you even left.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had been sick already for like the previous week before. So she was just drinking lean the whole time, right?
Lean?
Yeah. Isn't that like Tussin and Sprite the whole...
Is that... I don't know.
I don't know. One of them's like codeine. It's codeine and...
Yeah, like Lil Wayne drinks.
Yeah.
Like purple stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she was like, just getting that Tussin right up in there, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Let that Tussin soak right in there.
Shit, son.
And soldiered through it. But then on Saturday during the conference, we had like they do like these amazing classes where you get to do like learning about home recording and licensing and all the stuff that.
So what was this conference? What was the?
It's called U-Bloom.
It's like an independent music.
Yeah, it's like Ireland. It's really just for independent musicians and artists. Musicians really, anybody in music who's independent, trying to like make it happen, and really just giving you the tools for like the business, for the art making and the business end of things. I mean, obviously, if you're doing it, you're making your art, but it's really good for like the whole licensing thing, like learning about your rights, and things like that. Like, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there's money for bat wings out there somewhere. That's been being collected,
It probably is. Occasionally I get like an email from CD Baby.
Yeah.
It's like, collect your like $10. I'm like, I'll let it collect some interest. I don't think that's how it works, but so it's not worth $10 to go through the hassle of figuring out how to get that $10.
And honestly, like, I think the thing that it really shows is how kind of fucked up music is. Like, it's one of the worst businesses to ever be in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's so many ins and outs and ups and downs and all arounds with that shit. Like, there's surprise that you have to be like an entertainment lawyer or have one of those kind of people in order to make it work.
Yeah.
Because you have like these things called publishing rights and then songwriters' rights and then there's recording rights and mechanical rights and there's so many fucking rights.
It's already making me nauseous.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I mean, when we go to this thing, we always bring a notebook because you gotta take notes. So anyway, we made it partway through the conference. We didn't eat a lot. I feel really bad because then we blamed it on this Indian food later on, which was really good. And for $10, you got a stupid amount. And it was really good off the Sunset Strip. So anyway, so we're sitting there. We have like one more class to go, like one more session to go through before the day ends. And Kayla's just like, she's like, I'm feeling kind of green right now. And I was like, we've been here all day. It's kind of hot in here. I'm not feeling so great. Let's get out of here. We get back to the place we're staying and automatically she just starts throwing up. And that's how it is for the next like 7 hours.
For some reason in my head, I pictured you guys like stepping into a cab outside of the conference place and like just starting to like make out vomit. All just, I don't know why. My brain pictures weird things, but.
Oh man. I wish it was that glamorous. It was horrendous. So
I wasn't picturing it in a glamorous way. Just like two people vomiting while making out. And it's like spraying out the sides of both their mouths and like through their noses. And they're...
You can't do that in my cab. Get out.
Yeah, sometimes weird images pop into my head. The other day I walked in to one of the offices at work. And for some reason... the image of not Terry Crews, but a Terry Crews type popped into my head. And it's got to be, he's wearing a dashiki and a Santa hat, and he's holding a menorah and flipping you off. And that would be my Christmas card.
That sounds amazing.
Because it covers all the three major. Yeah.
I like it.
Right.
Where's that card?
I don't know. I just thought of it like yesterday, so I haven't really.
Time to smoke a bowl and do some painting.
I got to find a model. I want it to be photo style.
But
anyway.
But yeah, so apparently norovirus, it hits like the flu. It's like 24 hours or something and in that 24 hours there's at least like 12 hours that are just like abject, total, complete misery. They suck so much. So I didn't have to go through it. I had to stay up with her, and then about 3:00 she was like, or it was probably closer to like 1:30. She was still throwing up blood.
Jesus.
And the people...
You just casually said, yeah, she was still throwing up blood.
Well, there was nothing left.
I have never thrown up blood. That's crazy.
I never have either.
That's awful.
and when she was doing it, I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, well, you're going through a lot of body trauma right now, as your body's like, contracting and like pushing things out. And so it's, what scene I always go back to is that fucking part in Breaking Bad where he's like coughing up the blood, and it's just because he has a slight esophageal cut or something, just from the force of coughing all the time, not actually like coughing up pieces of lung. So I'm always like, well, there's always those secondary things that it probably is more than like, oh my God, I'm throwing up parts of my body. It's like, no, you're throwing up, coagulated blood because your insides are kind of unhappy right now.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that makes it any better. I'm not a doctor.
I don't know. That wouldn't really comfort me. If you told me that while I was vomiting blood, I'd be like, I don't.
I'd still like an emergency room.
I think I'd like a doctor.
So we headed over to Silver Lake Urgent Care, and they got us in right away because there was no line. And big ups to our host, Alexia. She was the place we were staying at in Echo Park. So we took Kayla there. They gave her a couple different pills, one for nausea and one for keeping your guts from turning into liquid shit all the time.
An anti-Ebola pill?
Yeah. And, basically just so you can retain some water, because I had gotten some like Pedialyte for her to, at least like, well, if you're going to be empty, you might as well have like electrolytes. It's what plants want.
Maybe something will be left over here.
Right?
It's got what plants crave.
So it was pretty shitty. And then on top of that, we had to like take a 12-hour drive, home the next day.
Jesus. Yeah,
so
that is the worst.
So she was back into the world of living the next day for the most part. I mean, as far as like, not having liquid flying out of both ends of her body. Ugh. And so we loaded her up in the car, and I just drove like straight for 12 hours, like not even really stopping to eat. Like I think I stopped at Fat Burger in Barstow because I kind of wanted In-N-Out, but I felt like that was bad for him.
Fat Burger's the fucking bomb.
I love Fat Burger, man. It's so good.
But I don't know if I could eat it and then drive. You got to take a nap after you.
Oh, I know. No, I want
like none other.
I wanted to. I was telling her that. I was like, oh my God, I want to take a nap now.
It's like if you're getting Fat Burger, you got to get like 3 energy drinks too. If you have anything to do the rest of that day.
You need the caffeine just to burn the calories you've ingested. And we made it back. I was exhausted. I was tired. I felt like coldish coming on. Like, I don't know if I'm going to still feel that because I'm just getting used to being like back in my body now. But then, so the other night, we were eating dinner and I was like feeling okay.
This is after you got back.
This is after we got back. This is like a couple days later. I'm feeling okay. We're like watching our usual, late night TV show. She's getting ready for bed and I'm like, I'm not feeling so good, I said, I'm not feeling so hot. Like, it really just felt like a fire started in my stomach. And I thought it was here we go. I thought it was because I went to Smith's, wanted something to eat, found these like wings that had probably been in like a heat tray all day.
Oh, shit.
and even though I was like, this is a bad idea, I'll just throw some hot sauce. It'll be a great idea.
That'll burn out anything that might be.
If there's anything we've learned from being in New Mexico, it's like more chili.
Yeah, it burns out what ails you.
So I'm like, it'll be all right. I ate them. I ate them, and then I ate a ham sandwich on top of that with chips.
Oh,
like
Jesus.
I don't know why I decided to pile so much food on top of everything. Well, partway through, it just started feeling like there was a burning inside me, and like a slight cramping. And I was like, this is gonna be bad. And then it just like hits you like full wave nausea. You're just like, I couldn't even sit down for it. I just had to like stand and put my, prop myself up forward against the wall and just kind of like stand there and just wait. And I knew something bad was coming. I just knew it. I fucking knew it. And then when the music started happening, like I threw up once and it was pretty bad. And then the second time I threw up was seriously like I said, just like rolling a tube of toothpaste. Like everything that I'd eaten that day, like all of it and I could just feel it all. I could just feel it. And I got squeezed so tight. I was like, oh man, if I'm going to shit myself, this is the moment it's going to happen. And I didn't. I got really lucky, but.
Sometimes when I'm puking, I laugh at the noises I make between heaves. Because you'd be like, and then you'll make it like this pathetic little noise between horks, You'll be, that noise.
Yeah.
And I hear that come out of me, and then I start laughing, and then I puke while I'm laughing, which makes me laugh more. It's a vicious cycle.
I wish I would have been laughing. At that point, it hurt so bad. I got done, and then I was like, fuck you. Yeah. And then I was like, and I was like, I fucking hate you. I was like saying these things while it was going on. And it put me in a weird, I don't know if I was running a fever. I had really bad chills. My hands and my feet were freezing. Yeah. And I was trying to I was under 3 blankets trying to stay warm. And the whole time I thought I was a Viking in a cold winter in a shitty tent.
You actually thought this? Or you were just having a vision of it, half awake dream kind of?
Well, it kind of felt like a halfway dream kind of thing. Well, so I'm trying to stay warm under these blankets. They feel like 3 furs that I can't get to spread out right to get under.
I hate that shit.
And that futon is so uncomfortable because it's angled, so I can't
you roll into the crevice.
Yeah, I can't lay anywhere that's nice. At one point I was just I'm just gonna throw everything on the bathroom floor. and lay on the floor because I just can't do this.
There's not even enough room in there to lay on the floor.
No, there's not. But I've had better nights on bathroom floors when I've been drunk throwing up than I did trying to like deal with that futon.
Jesus.
And so so I was like, so I started thinking about Vikings because I was like, those guys are probably tougher than me, and I'm being a little bitch right now, and I'm dying.
They're definitely tougher than me.
Well, yeah, without a doubt. And the thing was like, I just kept doing the and so I was trying not to be in like the same room with Kayla so she could get some sleep, and like you know she had to work the next day, and went through that, and then about like probably 5:30 or 6 in the morning, I finally took 2 of those pills just to like, because I wasn't drinking water. She kept drinking water and kept throwing it back up, and I was like, not gonna do that. I'm just gonna let everything clear out of me and call it good.
You gotta get an IV, right? Danger.
Dang.
Intravenous fluid.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do any of that shit. I just like, I would take a mouthful of water, kind of lay there with it, in between groans, and just let it.
'Cause that shit's dangerous. People die of dehydration and shit when they have a flu like that.
Yeah, that's the most dangerous part of it.
Yeah. Fuck. Well, if I get sick, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, you're gonna be pissed. It's horrendous.
I'll be pissed, not really at you. And I hope I have enough mirth in my soul to laugh as I vomit.
I hope you do too, because it was fucking miserable. So at 6 in the morning, or whenever Kayla gets up, usually like before 7, she got up and like, and I was like, oh good, now I can go lay in the bed where I have like a flat area where I'm not falling into a crevasse the whole time.
You were the sick one. Why didn't you make her sleep on the couch and you sleep in the bed?
Because she has to work, so
I know.
I figure the person who brings home the paycheck is.
Hell yeah, I guess so.
I can suffer anywhere. It's gonna be suffering either way. There's no reason to like make anybody else go through it with me.
It's very noble of you.
And so I finally got into the bed, had like 4 or 5 blankets piled on top of me, and the weird thing about it was I was still in this weird halfway dream of like Viking world, because then it became contingent that in order for me to sleep in my own bed, I had to do certain political favors for other tribes leaders.
That's awesome. This sounds like it could be a movie, like one of those like was it like The Fountain? Where it's like an imaginary story mixed with like
with the real world thing.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like having to do all these favors for like all these tribes leaders, like these leaders, like family members and shit like that, to pay it back, because I was like, I finally get in my own bed. Like
that'd actually be a really good movie if you had someone who's sick, because you could make it super trippy, like visually, and
we could do it a la Princess Bride, or what's the other one? Neverending Story, like about a kid who's sick.
Yeah, right. But it'd be more like psychedelic.
Yeah,
like because it'd be in and out, and then like stuff in your real life would relate and have some sort of like metaphorical meaning in the dream world and shit.
Yeah,
that's like if I'm sick, I don't like being sick, but I kind of enjoy like the fever hallucination state.
Right.
It's kind of like at some point, usually if I have a fever or chills, I go, this is pretty sweet in a way. Like I'm not happy it's happening, but like I'm going to take this experience in and appreciate it a little bit.
Take it for all it's worth.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember thinking that when I got my first kidney stone. I remember being... Oh, my
God.
It was the worst pain ever, but I remember having this thought of, like, God or the universe or whatever I'm talking to.
The light, yeah.
Thank you, in a way, for giving me the worst pain you can have, because now I've experienced it.
You do go into an altered state, and there's a lot of ceremonies, from,
right. Like the Sundance
from like ancient people, where you go into that, and I know what you're saying too, because like even though there was part of me who like was laying there and was like, nah, I wasn't dying, I was just hoping I would die at some point, so it would just end. I kept thinking about that. I was like, is there any way to like kill myself really quick?
Oh, there's tons of ways.
Fucking miserable. And, but then, like, on the other hand, though, there's a point where it's so bad, you almost like disconnect from your body, and you're just like, wow, I'm in a realm beyond, beyond bodily senses.
Yeah.
And that is really cool. Like, extreme fevers, like you said, having the like hallucination moments and stuff like that. And it was funny. Kayla was talking about like, oh, I'm gonna do this cleanse when we get back. Man, it fucking happened either way. I didn't. She was like, "You want to be a part of it?" I was like, "Yeah, nah, it's okay." But
yeah, well, norovirus cleaned you right out.
And now I'm looking forward to
clean slate.
To like beef broth and brown rice. I'm like, yes, this is gonna be the best meal I've ever had.
Nice. Greetings, bitches and bitchettes.
Hey, so happy Star Wars Day. Apparently the 3D glasses look pretty cool. One of them's a new little droid, and what was the other?
I think the other one is Rilo Kin's mask.
Yeah.
Who we think might be, well, I won't spoil it for you.
But he's definitely the baddie.
I won't spoil our potential spoiler.
The baddie bad pants, but we're getting this live from Facebook feeds. People who are already at the theater waiting to see this tonight.
Oh yeah, tonight's the night.
Yeah.
Right? It's the day before premiere preview, whatever the fuck it's called. They call it a sneak preview. Is that what they call it?
I don't know, midnight preview.
Midnight release.
They've been like moving those further though. It's like the midnight release starts at 8:00. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not midnight, I guess. On the East Coast it is. So we got a track for the good people and the bad people.
Yeah, for all you motherfuckers and fatherfuckers out there. This was a song by myself. I go by the name Loki Sapfoot, and this is called Lackluster Wanderlust. Enjoy it. Yes.
Woo.
Feeling alright, and I don't really wanna sit down and write, cause I might fall right into the fight. Out of sight on the inside, this ride hurts too much to be real. Sucks to feel when I'm playing the bad guy. I'm staying like way high just to get by. Tied to a role I cast myself in, and that scene replays again and again. But skin is just a lie, let it fall away and decay by the wayside. Internally, I'm eternally me, beyond boundaries, driven by an energy I can't quite detect yet. Dead set on getting there, where I don't know. Cut my hair to the roots so that I can truly grow. Truly know not a thing, I gotta trust the mystery. Wishing we had a map through the misery. Anyway, in a way, pain is necessary. Tearing the flesh apart to jumpstart my heart. Artful brush strokes, I must choke the demons with love. Death strokes are painted in blood, blackened in the flames, chemically changed. I know I'm deranged, I'm breaking these chains if I can. I'm the only thing I can be, and I'ma be me till the day I don't breathe. So you'll see pen hitting paper, relentless, catching vapor, reawakening senses. Senseless madness, I won't take part. I'm leaving my fate in the hands of the power of art. Back at the start, but the cycle's a spiral. My wanderlust, lackluster, you're blustered by my blistering, precisely pointed poison darts. That's why you're still listening.
Anyway, so yeah, that's why we haven't been doing it. That was a long version of why we.
Well, really, it's gonna be to the listener, because the last one was on Friday, so this week will be Friday again.
Oh yeah.
So everything seems to be right on track as far as. Except we gave away the secret. Things are not on track. We've been scrambling to get one done for you this week. Still no guest. I mean, obviously, because we had to figure out a day to do it. And Rob was dying, and he described it to me. He's like, imagine a tube of toothpaste with holes on either end, just being squeezed completely
of all its essence.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. You ever puke when it's like the food hasn't even really been digested yet?
Oh yeah.
So it's like shitting out of your mouth, and you have like bits of like solid food like stuck in your throat, and you're trying to. That's
that's
what I pictured when you said tube of toothpaste, because like the thickness of it, you know.
No, I blew my nose, and there was like part of my dinner in it. Like, it was just like, and lots. It wasn't just like a little. It was like lots.
It's like
of stuff.
you blew your nose, and it's like cheese from a slice of pizza, you know, and you pull it out of the pie.
Mozzarella.
Yeah, that's gross.
It's fucking nasty. Never again. Never again.
Hopefully not, but it's not really in your control.
But, you know, I haven't gotten sick all year. I think I've been, like, healthy for a year. I haven't gotten a cold. I haven't gotten shit. And, like, if you're going to get something, I guess, like, make it the worst thing.
I get sick all the time, but it's
Really?
usually just little things, like one day or whatever, and then I'm good.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could deal with that. This shit, though. That was... I think it had to only been, like, maybe 7 or 8 hours of misery. But it was, like, the worst 8 hours of misery I've ever had to deal with.
Jesus.
Because it's not like, you know, it's not like, oh, this is going by. It's going to be done. You're just laying there going,
uncertainty.
Like, yeah, you're just laying there like, how much longer do I have to feel this? And I could kind of feel, I could literally feel something moving down the GI tract. Like, when it started out, it felt higher up, kind of like where your stomach would be, like maybe the lower end of your stomach, and then it just like seemed that burning feeling never left. That crampy burning feeling just seemed to like
alien running through
yeah,
your
intestines. Yeah, it was hell though. So but Star Wars Day. So what are you excited about Star Wars? Are you excited about Star Wars? I mean, I'm sure you don't buy it. Neither I don't think
really.
either of us are like.
I'm not that into it. I mean, I'll see it. I got my tickets. I'm seeing it. Actually, I'm seeing it on my birthday next week.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
But, my lady friend is super into Star Wars. She has been like her whole life.
Yeah.
So, and she's actually like, she tried not to be into it because she's like, fuck Disney. I don't fuck this shit. She's like, it's so over marketed, and I'm like, yeah, but you're looking at it through like a distorted filter of nostalgia. Because aside from maybe the first Star Wars movie, all 5 other ones were marketed to shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, in a way, Star Wars was like the beginning of modern marketing, probably. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fucking economist major or whatever, but like... But you look back, like, you see, like, that was the beginning of action figures, lunch boxes, toy Star Wars, everything.
It definitely was one of the biggest, like, trilogies ever. Like, to have a sequel and then a trilogy. Like,
right, and the way they had, like, Star Wars board games, Star Wars Atari games, Star Wars whatever, back in the day when the original trilogy...
Which you owe it to George Lucas because he's a good businessman.
But that, in a way, set the tone for how... things are how Harry Potter was marketed and how, like things,
Jurassic Park and
right, all that kind of stuff. I feel like Star Wars started the modern era of that, and I could be wrong because I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. But to me, that's
seems about right.
So you can't really get mad. It's just it's worse now, but that's because everything is over marketed now. So do you expect it not to be? That's what Star Wars is and always has been. But I read a review, and it didn't spoil anything, but they said it's fucking awesome. And I haven't heard anyone yet say that it's not good.
Yeah.
Of the people who saw it at the premiere.
There was even that poor cancer patient super fan who got to see it before he died. And
he gave it the thumbs up, right?
I think so.
Didn't he die like the next day or something?
Like
or the next
days,
week?
Man. Like
that's why they let him see it early. Cause,
yeah. But I mean...
I hope it doesn't end in a cliffhanger, because that would suck for him.
Fun, nice job, universe. Thank you. Really good sense of humor there.
It was really good, but it ended in a cliffhanger, and I'm gonna die next week.
So they're gonna let me read the script for the next 3 days.
I think it's really weird that the same guy is now making the Star Wars and the Star Trek. That seems a little weird to me.
Yeah, He's good at what he does, but I
really like the Star Trek movies, the reboot ones.
Yeah, the reboot.
They're really cool.
The reboot was good.
Yeah.
Lots of lens flares. I was never, like, it's funny because I'm older than you, but I remember I had this really nerdy teacher when I had gifted, like in my freshman.
Ooh, I'm gifted.
Freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to him because, like I had uncles who were like big Star Wars fans or whatever. I mean, shit, man. One of my uncles is such a big fan. He named his first son Luke.
Thought you were gonna say like Yoda or something. He named his first son Chewbacca.
He named his first son Mace Windu. And that wasn't even around. But I always grew up with it in the background. I always kind of knew it. I just was never that big of a fan. I think I was actually, honestly, a bigger fan of the Ewoks spin-off made for TV movies.
That's funny.
Which I posted one of them. I posted one of them in full today on YouTube. I found it on YouTube, and I actually had it playing today while I was doing other things. And Wilford Brimley's in it.
Oh wow!
he's always
as what? Just like some rebel guy? Or?
The story is like kind of lost on me, but apparently, so this family gets stranded on the Ewok planet. And so the first movie's about the kids. The second movie, like the whole family gets killed except for the youngest girl. And then she finds this.
They kill the family?
Yes!
I thought these were like kids' movies.
They are, but
Jesus.
Kids' movies in the 80s were amazing, apparently. Because they don't hold any punches. People die and shit, and it's horrifying. Like, if you've ever seen the movie Witches with... that movie's scary.
I heard they were going to make like a sequel or something to that.
I don't know, but that I remember seeing...
like Bette Midler, right?
No.
Or am I thinking of a different one?
No.
Oh, that's Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus. This one is with Angelica Houston.
Okay.
And they turn the kid into a mouse.
Right.
And then the witches are in like that ballroom, and then they all like pull their wigs off and
they're
bald
nasty.
and creepy. And,
okay.
Oh,
I think
man.
I thought those were the same movie until like right now. I don't know.
But yeah, like so yeah, the whole family gets killed, and so it's like Wicket and the little girl's name Spindle, I think, or Sindel is her name. And yeah, Wilford Brimley was just like some old guy who lives alone, like
he kind of looks like an Ewok
on the planet, and so
he's accepted him as one of their own.
Right?
Like, yeah, you'll pass for one of us.
And so it's like, it's totally bizarre and funny. But anyway, so I was talking to this teacher in the 9th grade, and he's like telling me, about how he's a big fan and everything. And I was like, I never really like understood, like, to me, Star Wars was kind of generic. There was always like the dashing guy and the half humanoid, anthropomorphic creature, and they go on an adventure, and there's laser guns and space fighting and alien worlds. And so to me, it was really, it just always felt like a really generic thing as a kid. Like I never understood the like mass appeal or why it was such a big deal.
You say generic, but you could say iconic, and it could mean the same thing depending on how you colored what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like Star Wars is kind of a cobbled together thing of like knights and westerns and sci-fi like all at once.
Yeah.
It's kind of like The Dark Tower by Stephen King, where it's just like everything at once. Yeah. In a story, like. But
see, I didn't make those delineations because to me, like things like I can't even like Beastmaster, like what was to my like 5 or 6 year old self, what was the difference between that shit? It was all people in rubber suits and jumping around and running and heroes saving damsels in distress and all that stuff. So it just felt like the only reason that one was a big deal was because it won out, as far as like popularity goes. Obviously now, like years or decades later, I kind of get the whole appeal to it. Yeah, like you said, like the multi-genre appeal of it.
Right.
And it does borrow from all those like different kinds of things, like Flash Gordon and old staple sci-fi. And
it takes all those
Knights of the Round Table
and takes like the best parts of them and puts it together into a thing. Like
and it really bothers me because like even though I'm not that big of a fan, I think that there were still really good staples of it that shithead George Lucas went back and like changed.
Oh yeah.
Like
you mean when they re-released it?
Well, yeah, when he redid the Masters in '97 or whatever, and with the whole like, I mean, just like the thing that bothers me the most, and it's probably the stupidest one, and it's probably the nerds go nuts about, but the whole like bar scene with Han Solo and Greedo, and he, and they re-edited it so like Greedo shot first, and then they shoot at the same time, and it's like, no, that's not why you liked Han Solo in the first place. You liked him because he was a shitty person at the beginning of the trilogy, and then
he found his heart.
And then over time, because he like met these other people and whatever, like his character changed. It,
Right.
you know, he went through like growth as a character. Like that's what makes it good in the first place.
You don't want to homogenize it and be like, no, he was good all along.
Yeah.
It's trying to make excuses for your own story.
Oh no, it's just so terrible, and this like rewriting of it, and I'm so glad it's out of George Lucas's hands, because then
we all are.
that brings me back. That brings me to the prequels, which I also
not so good.
I posted those today too, a bunch of reviews about them, and
like if that wasn't Star Wars, like if Star Wars didn't exist and they released Episode 1, that shit would have flopped.
Oh, bad.
Episode 2 never would have come out.
Oh, bad.
Like,
it would have been bad.
Yeah, I saw that the first day. I wasn't really into it, but there was so much hype, and I was in like 9th grade at the time or whatever when Episode 1 came out. And my buddy, I think it was my buddy Andres, who later went on to become like a war hero, I think.
Whoa.
Yeah. But I think that's who gave me the ticket, and I went to see it because he had tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah. I remember like being excited about it because, you know, of course the first like poster they put out is that like, you know, little Anakin with like the shadow of Darth Vader, and that sucks when your like teaser poster is better than the fucking movie, you know, when there's more to like hold on to in the like suspense of that poster than in that stupid shit storm with that dumb fucking rabbit, you know, space rabbit thing. Yeah. Like, man, and there have been people who've done better reviews. Like maybe I can put up some links or whatever on our Facebook or something about him. But this guy, he like tears the story apart. Like his thing is like in the first video, it's busted up into 7 parts, but it's like a 70-minute long review.
Wow.
And so he sits there and he goes, okay, I'm going to tell you the character name. You describe them to me without telling me what they look like, what their role is, or, you know, like...
So in other words, all the characters are shallow as fuck.
Well,
right? That's what he's getting at.
Well, okay, so let's try this. Let's just do it for fun. So Han Solo. So tell me something about him. Like, describe who he is without what he does or without...
What do you mean? Like...
So
I would say he's like rebel, plays by his own rules, only cares about the bottom line.
Yes.
But then finds his heart throughout the story.
Yeah. So what would you say about Qui-Gon Jinn?
I don't even know who that is. Oh, that's the...
Liam Neeson.
Okay.
See, you can't even remember who he is. Like,
I don't really care either.
No, I know you don't care who he is, but you know who Han is.
Right.
You know who Han is, and who...
Okay, I do know who he is. It took me a second, but I did remember who that is.
but then...
That's the guy that trains Anakin, right?
No. He's training Obi-Wan.
Oh.
He's Obi-Wan's master. No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, Amidala.
Natalie Portman being hot chick, basically.
Yes,
right?
There's like absolutely nothing to these characters. Like it's like he just sat there and was like, well, they need names and they need like there was no character development, and that hurts because you want to give a shit about them. You want to care.
I mean, it's kind of like when like Korn makes another album, and it's like, what haven't you worked out from your childhood?
Right.
Like,
I know, especially when you compare it to the first album with a song like "Daddy,"
which is crying while he's recording it. And shit.
Which is just like,
but like,
gut wrenching.
Yeah, it's that same thing, or it's just kind of like you're just going through the motions because the fans want you to make something angsty. So it's the same thing where it's like, well, I guess we'll make more Star Wars. We'll just make it Star Warsy, and it'll sell well, right?
Oh man,
that means it's good because it's like the other ones, kind of. And I made it, and I made Star Wars, so it's good.
Right. Like, it just breaks your heart though, because it's like this could have been like the chance to really, I don't know, delve into like the mythology of something, you know, or create something, or to find that story, you know, that could have really, accented the next trilogy, you know, the first 3 movies. And instead it was just this like terrible going through the motions of like flat characters and scenes that are like overloaded with way too much visual garbage. And just watching basically a man take his master stroke and then finish stroking off in your face, you know, like it's gross. It's I don't know. For as much as I like kind of am not like the biggest fan about the first 3 movies, the prequels just make me so much more passionate about them because they're so bad.
Yeah, I still haven't seen the second one. I've tried to watch
Attack
it
of
a
the
couple
Clones?
times and just fallen asleep. I mean, it was late and I was probably super high or whatever, so I didn't necessarily just fall asleep because it sucks, but just watching them try to pretend they're in love, Amidala and whatever's Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Just, dude.
It's painful.
Worst.
It's painful.
Natalie Portman is like, I'm sorry I was in those movies. I'm sorry. I don't. Like, I think she had like a public statement. She's like, I apologize. I don't know. I mean, it was Star Wars. I thought it was gonna be good.
Yeah. I mean, they had freaking Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
Nothing. There, like, not even. There's too many motherfucking stormtroopers on this motherfucking
spaceship.
Ship, yeah.
Right.
Like, you take one of the best actors of his day during the best, during his prime, and you have him talk really slowly about things while we're sitting and talking. It's like, oh.
All up in your ass like a piece of poop. It's the problem with everything.
Yeah, there are a lot of problems with everything.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play a song. I guess it's not my favorite, but this is collaborative because I'm not George Lucas.
Right. We were trying to decide what song to play, and I was like, I know you don't like Exist, but I like it. Can we play it? Rob's like, well, I'm not George Lucas, and we can compromise. So here you go. This is called Exist by Batwings for Lab Rats.
Enjoy.
So I've heard nothing but good about the new one. I've yet to hear anyone say anything bad about it.
Right.
Like, and the way our world is now, and maybe this is because it's professionals that were at the premiere that are reviewing it, like with actual knowledge of film. Mm-hmm. So we'll see when it really comes out what fanboys have to say.
Right.
But in our world where it's just negative, go fucking kill yourself, George Lucas, all that kind of shit, like, for all the reviews to be positive, it's got to be good, right?
Right. Well, it's horrible to think like, oh, he set the bar so low that it couldn't have like, that, you couldn't hit it. But I don't think it's that hard when you're like trying to figure out what the story is that you're trying to tell. Not like how many effects or like, who's got the double-sided lightsaber or any of that shit.
Right.
Like, what is the heart?
You know what I think is dumb about, what's his name? Darth Maul, about his like bow staff lightsaber?
Yeah.
Is if you're using a staff, you're going to touch it more than just in the very middle. Right? Like if you're hitting someone with it, your hand's going to slide to the outside to attack.
It could definitely happen.
So, but he can't do that because it's a lightsaber. Like, to me, that's dumb. Like, it should have been shorter on the ends, right?
With the lightsaber sides?
Yeah, like the lightsaber parts on the end should be shorter and the middle bar should be bigger so he can move his hands when he's fighting. Yeah. But that's kind of nitpicky, I guess. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, that's bullshit.
But see, that solidifies in some way, or at least is an example of like what is problematic in general.
Gimmicky.
Like, it became gimmicky instead of like trying to find the heart of a really good story. Like, okay, great, we can have all these amazing visual effects, but the fuck does it mean if there's not like if you don't give a shit about the characters? Like, if you don't care about the characters, like if I could give a shit if this kid's like a little slave, like you throw the slave on his name and you're like, oh, you're winning me over, and then you give me nothing the rest of the fucking movie.
It's like when Dewey Cox is trying to make that album and he's got like the African singers and the goats and the like washboard player and like all that shit. It's kind of like that. Like, he's trying to put all these bells and whistles and make it this weird, crazy thing no one's ever seen before. It's going to be so awesome. And he got away from the heart of telling a story. Yeah. Writing a good song. Yeah. It's the same kind of thing.
And would have been amazing so Lucas, the idea is like he didn't, he wanted full control of these movies, which is why he like wrote and directed them, which he didn't on the first three. Like, I mean, he directed the first one.
The guy that co-wrote the second and third, or the fifth and sixth, if you will, of the original trilogy, Empire and
Jedi,
Return of the Jedi. He co-wrote the new one.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so it's
Awesome.
like original. It's
Yeah.
OG writers, so
sweet.
it has the feel
Yeah.
of the
And see that's like the problem though is like really good films. Like there's a reason why J.J. Abrams films look and feel like he did Super 8. You know, the one about the aliens with the
good
kids.
one.
That one's
Yeah.
fun. I think he did Cloverfield.
Really?
I think don't quote me on that.
Well, he did Lost, right?
He did Lost. He did the Star Trek
Alias.
reboot. He did Alias. But I feel like the reason his films really work is because he has a really good crew that works with him. It's not just, oh my God, J.J. Abrams is a genius. No, he fucking has people he listens to and like works with,
Right.
and they work together to
He
make
hasn't
something good.
lost sight of the product itself.
Yeah. That the product is more important than his fucking ego.
Right.
And so that's kind of what makes Empire so good. The second of the original, number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Is that they had a different director who was willing to take like some chances and kind of go with like the emotional craziness that they did, which everybody is like that's still the best one ever. But I mean, just like the missed opportunity of like getting one of the best writers of the day, which so we're thinking like they started the process in like 94, 97. Do you remember any good TV shows in 97? I can't, like, nothing's coming
X-Files
to mind.
was on.
X-Files wouldn't have been half bad. Actually,
that was at the peak of X-Files,
Vince Gilligan actually wrote 7 out of 9 seasons.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I remember because X-Files is coming back in January. And my lady friend had never seen X-Files,
Oh,
so
shit.
we finished it like a week ago.
Yeah.
We watched every season
All
over the
9
last
seasons?
like 3 months.
Oh my God.
But we were watching it. We were sitting there, and there was
Yeah.
a character whose last name was Airman Trout. And we were like, Airman Trout? Where do we know that name?
Oh my God.
And then we realized Mike Airman Trout from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, Vince Gilligan must have written this one, and that name must be something in his life, so he uses it when he writes stuff.
Right, right.
Yeah, it was like a little Easter egg that I'm sure wasn't intended as one because it happened before Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But for us, it was an Easter egg. Like, oh shit, Airman Trout, nice.
But I mean, so you have that, and even with George Lucas's like shitty dialogue and writing and pathetic storytelling, like, you can imagine the caliber of directors. We had Darren Aronofsky who just done Requiem for a Dream. You had Danny Boyle who had done fucking Trainspotting in like 96. Shit, man, even Kevin Smith would have been a better director. Like, and I'm not.
I bet he'd do Star Wars.
Oh man,
right. Because he's a fanboy,
right?
Like,
well, and if you're talking about a movie where everybody's just sitting around talking about politics, at least his dialogue would have been fucking amazing.
And Kevin Smith has written comics, and
Yeah.
I mean, he can write
Daredevil,
a serious story
comics.
that's not Clerks. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Although Clerks is a serious story in a way.
The first one definitely.
You didn't like the second one? I love the second one.
No, I like the second one. Yeah, anytime there's a donkey show at the end.
Spoiler alert. All right.
But-
So, what were you gonna say?
Oh,
Sorry.
well, no, but I mean, just so you really missed out on like the ability to like collaborate with these really talented people at their like young, phase to like make these movies something so much better than they ever could have been. I mean, I can't even imagine, when people announced that Darren Aronofsky was going to do the Batman reboot before.
I'm so disappointed that never happened.
Yeah, before. I mean, could you imagine him doing one of the Star Wars? I mean, that would just like.
I don't know if that's the right feel, but
The third one, where it's
the dark one.
Yeah.
Episode, or are you talking episode 3 or 6?
episode 3.
Yeah.
Well, the Revenge of the Sith, man.
That one's pretty good. I liked that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's got its. I was more excited about that one than anything, and but it just I don't know. It'll always be ruined for me. The
Yeah. I don't know. At some point, though, too, like, it's like if Star Wars was not a thing for the last 50 years or however long it's been now.
Yeah.
Like, if right now you discovered a VHS of Star Wars and you had never heard of it, you'd probably be like, it's all right.
Just like when people find Beastmaster.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of, it's like, if it didn't have this whole thing behind it of, Comic-Cons and
cultural.
Yeah, if
inclusion.
it wasn't such a phenomenon of our culture, like, I don't know how good Star Wars really is. You can't tell because you can't see it objectively anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, so before we wrap up the podcast,
yeah,
you've noticed Luke Skywalker's not on the poster. He's not in the preview.
No.
I'm assuming he's Rilo Ken.
He's the bad,
right?
The baddie bad.
But that seems obvious. So is that not the case? Because it seems like obviously the case, right?
So once upon a time, shout out to Nathan Smith, who we got to like hang out with when we were in LA. He used to play in a band called Feels Like Sunday. One time when back in like, I'm sure after the first the Phantom Menace had come out, we were all sitting around talking, and he said supposedly that George Lucas had already written out all, not just the prequels, but that there were 3 movies afterwards. So the fact that this ever came up as a thing never really surprised me, because I had always, there was just this rumor, and I never looked it up on the internet.
So from what I understand, that did happen, but they did not follow that for the new ones.
Oh, okay.
So he had done that. He had the story all mapped out, but they didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
So the new ones are new. Like, it's not what George Lucas's vision was.
But within what you're bringing up, though, there was the idea that one of the 2 twins had gone bad. In fact, I think he said both or something, but...
the 2 twins meaning Luke and Leia?
Yeah. So...
and I believe, I don't know exactly when it was, but Mark Hamill, in some interview at some conference or something at some point, said, if we ever do make the new ones, I'd like to see Luke go bad.
Right.
So... It seems so obvious that it can't be the case, unless it's just done so awesome that you don't care that you saw it coming.
I know.
And
I'm really, if that's the case, I'm really more interested in the motivations as to why Luke would go that way. I mean, we got the feeling of it in the last 2 movies.
He wore black all the time.
Yeah, and he was
brooded a lot.
And he was wailing on freaking Darth Vader there before, in front of the Emperor and shit. So. Like, and you're gonna have to like forgive me, I haven't seen these movies in like years. I've only been watching like reviews and stuff like that on them, because I don't own any of them.
We're not really qualified to be having this conversation as all of our podcasts go, really.
We're just keeping up tradition, everybody. Just keeping up tradition. But yeah, it's I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm as far as like cultural phenomena go, like I'll be there, with a greasy bucket of shitty popcorn that's overpriced, but super excited to like, be going and ready to check it out. Like, I wasn't even the biggest Star Trek fan, and J.J. Abrams won me over on that shit. He won me over so much that I started watching the original TV show.
Right. Have you ever seen the first episode of Star Trek?
Yes.
It's not Kirk. It's like some guy.
Yeah. No, it's
and actually that character is in the movie,
reboots.
The reboot movies. Yeah, which was a cool little Easter egg.
Yeah. No, Kirk comes on later.
The second episode, just the pilot, he's not in it, and Spock like laughs in it and shit. Like they hadn't figured out all the details.
I thoroughly enjoyed it because it was kind of like. I don't know, like old TV, it just has a rhythm to it. Like when I watch old Twilight Zones, like the original, the first 2 seasons,
that
first 3
shit's
seasons.
Legit. Yeah.
Oh man, the pacing is nice and slow, and
it's like theater. It's more you're watching a play that's filmed in a way.
Yeah, and you're getting to like sit in the stuff instead of just like jump cuts every 5 fucking seconds. Like I'm over editing in this.
They were more about telling the story than they were making it visually interesting.
Yeah, giving you the mood, putting you in there.
Right.
Like it's really cool. But anyway, it was a very Star Wars heavy and diarrhea heavy episode.
We vomited Star Wars all over this bitch. If you're going to see Star Wars today or this weekend, enjoy that shit. Have a happy winter solstice, a good Christmas. I think, is Hanukkah over? Nobody cares.
I don't
Jews
know.
don't even care about Hanukkah. It's not even like everybody like
9 days of socks.
Everybody assumes that Hanukkah is like the Jewish Christmas, and they don't. It's not even like the top 5 holidays of their calendar.
They have so many better ones with better meals and things like that.
What's the one one where they hang out in the tent? That one's cool. They have like a tent in their yard and they have a feast. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah,
Like Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, it's during the. It's usually during the warmer months.
Yeah,
I've been. Yeah, no, that. Yeah, you
That
make like
shit's
a
awesome.
thatched
Yeah,
hut.
yeah.
and-
You build a hut like in your front yard,
Yeah.
and you have a party.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
It's really
It's like building a
awesome.
fort.
I got to go to one time for some random reason, and it was the best. It was the best time ever.
All right.
Food was good.
Enjoy your Kwanzaa and
Happy holidays.
yeah.
What was it? Merry Christmas is what, or Happy Holidays is what terrorists say.
All right. So silly. It's silly on both sides. If you're really getting offended because someone said Merry Christmas to you, go fuck yourself. Right? Am I off base here? Like, someone wished you a pleasant time. Like, just because you don't celebrate that, just say thank you and move on with your day, right?
Right. What happens if somebody's like, "I'm praying for you"? Do you just like punch them in the face?
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Anyway.
Here's your prayers answered.
But then the opposite thing, the war on Christmas.
Oh, my
Fuck off with
God.
that shit, too. Like, what do you...
If you're not getting fed to lions,
Right.
it's not
It's a good
persecution.
day. Yeah. Right? Yeah. If you're not having to fight to the death for my entertainment, then it's a good day. Just go back to your mall church and
Right.
buy a $30 coffee
Whatever.
table book about Jesus or whatever and go fuck yourself. All right. Happy Xmas. Go fuck yourself. Anything else you need to say?
No, I
before
think
we're
that's
out?
it. Everybody have a safe times out there.
All right. Last week we mentioned Bill O'Reilly's erotic sci-fi audiobook,
Yeah.
and we'd like to play a selection from that to play us out. What does that mean, to play us out?
I don't know. He's so angry. And you know, does that mean he's stereotypically Irish then?
I think it means he's stereotypically Fox News-ish.
Ah,
Yeah.
just aggressive, angry.
He's just playing a part. He's just making money. He seems more intelligent than what he says. Like, he can't believe the things he's saying, right?
Probably.
But I feel that way every time a Republican opens their mouth.
Do you think they need drugs for that, like PCP or meth or something? You know, like there's the stoner conspiracy theorist, right? Who's like, man, no, it's all like, you know, the aliens with the like original presidents and shit with the pyramids.
Reptilians, man.
Yeah, you know, and the Illuminati. And so, like, I'm sorry, there's no way you could get me to believe that shit unless I was, like, stupid high. Or there's no way I could say that convincingly unless I was, like,
Right.
high off my, rocker and shit. But, like,
Right.
these guys, like, you know, do a little, some stimulants maybe, some amphetamines or some PCP and then get up there and just, like, say whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I know their drug of choice is probably, like, you know, hard liquor or something.
Yeah. I could see Bill O'Reilly taking a little bump of meth.
He's
I could picture that.
It's just like, no, affirmative action is because the Jews and the Africans run everything. Whoa.
Jews in Hollywood and the liberal media.
Where did that come from? That seemed... I can't believe I said it either, but I'm so drunk right now and had a little bit of meth.
Well, here in this next segment to play us out, what does that mean, to play us out? Fuck it, we'll do it live. In this next segment, you'll hear a softer, cuddly yet also cold metal side of
As
Bill
well as-
O'Reilly as he talks about his character's robot dong, apparently. So
Put down that pipe and get my pipe up.
enjoy Bill O'Reilly being erotic as fuck. We'll see you next week.
Later, folks.